Hey folks, it's Uncle Jay. Today on Storytime, I'm going to share with you the tale of Spanky and the shark. Now, Spanky was kind of a legend in first group, and anybody who spent some time there undoubtedly ran into him. I had the privilege of attending the waterborne infiltration course in Key West. It's an adjunct to the scuba school taught by the scuba Nazis. It was designed to teach you how to surface swim, paddle open water klepper kayaks, and drive Zodiac boats. Well, the Zodiac boats portion is where this tale begins. We were doing what you call down pilot exercise. They stash a pilot with a transponder out on one of the keys. We roll up Zodiac boats, stuff them in a Black Hawk helicopter from Task Force 160, and then we get the e-ticket ride from hell as they go about 20 feet above the water, zipping through the mangroves and basically giving you a ride you will get nowhere else on Earth. Well, they take us to the little key where we're supposed to inflate our boats, and at that point drive out to where the transponder's going off, pick up the pilot, and bring him back home. So we do it. We inflate them with little CO2 cartridges, and we're starting to walk out into the water. And there's kind of a crescent-shaped lagoon that's pretty shallow, knee-deep or less. And so we can't just jump in the boats and drive off. You know, we got to kind of push them along as we walk next to them until we get to deep enough water where we can turn on the engines. Well, as we're doing this, Spanky looks forward out into the middle of the lagoon, and he spies a dorsal fin sticking up out of the water. And instead of the normal reaction, which I had, which is, hey, maybe it's time to get in the frickin' boats. No. For Spanky, this meant it was time for some crocagator hunter-worthy excursion in shark hunting. So here was his cunning plan. We had rubber M16 weapons, right? Because you don't want to take your real guns out, get them all salt watered up. So we're using these things. We had dive knives. And as always, we had 100-mile-an-hour tape. Spanky takes his rubber M16, puts the dive knife on the end, hammers it down with enough 100-mile-an-hour tape to hold it on, and develops the field expedient M16 shark sticking device. Now, to follow on with what he wants to do now, we're going to get in the boat now. We're going to drive toward the shark, and he's done some math in his head, and he's decided that since the dorsal fin's this big and it's sticking out of water this deep, that it can't be a very big shark. Obviously not. But what he wants to do is he wants to spear it, and then he wants to strap it to the front of our Zodiac like it's deer hunting season in Wisconsin and we're coming home with a trophy. And he wants us to drive our Miss Budweiser back into Key West Harbor with a shark strapped to the front of it. Now, I'm at this point disconcurring with this entire idea. Not that my words were listened to, not that anybody paid attention. So here we are. Driver's got the boat going. We're heading towards the shark. Spanky's up on the bow. He's got his M16. He's got 100-mile-an-hour cord, he's got 550 cord tied to it so that at least he can retrieve it if he misses. So he's leaning over the bow. Louder is holding his legs so he doesn't fall off. And as we get up towards the shark, it does one of those little S-turn things that sharks do when they decide it's no longer time to lie in the water and they might want to get up. And as it turns out, Spanky's math wasn't all that good. Shark was at least 10 feet. So as it comes out and takes off, he launches his shark sticker. He misses, right? Pulls it back in, and at that point, instructs the driver to chase the shark. So what he tries to do, as the shark's heading towards open water, is we circle the boat around. So we cut off the shark. Yeah, now we're between the shark and his exfil. He's not real thrilled about this, and he's doing little turns, and between his turns and our driver's turns, we jumped the shark. We actually ran over his back in our Zodiac. At that point, I was finally heard, and we called off the shark hunt. And we drove the boat back to the harbor. Well, actually, we picked up the pilot first, drove the boat back to the harbor. And when we actually got back to dry land and flipped the boat over, right there on the bottom, where the shark's sandpaper skin had creased the bottom of the boat, was a stripe. So I got to just right there admit that, yes, even Uncle Jimbo has jumped the shark. Hopefully that's not a metaphor for the blog.